The Star Sports Brand Spotlight is now on TVS.
Welcome to JioStar Sports Brand Spotlight in partnership with ET Brand Equity. Every brand wants a front row seat to the IPL, but only a few truly own the moment. TVS Motor is one of them. This Tata IPL 2025 season, Brand Spotlight returns as the most coveted space for brands looking to break through during high stakes, high viewership moments. TVS Motor, with its legacy of performance, innovation, and speed, is leveraging this prime real estate to make a statement. So, what's the game plan? How does TVS Motor ensure it stands out in an advertising season as competitive as the game itself? Joining us to decode the strategy, the storytelling, and the road ahead is Aniruddha Haldar, Senior Vice President, TVS Motor. Thank you so much for joining us today, Aniruddha.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
We're very excited to know all about your campaign. Now, what is the core objective of your Tata IPL 2025 marketing strategy, and how do your campaigns align with your brand's larger vision?
So, TVS Motor Company has the widest two-wheeler portfolio in the country. We offer products right at the bottom of the pyramid, which is the utility segment from a moped right up to the premium end of the segment. So we have the widest range of offerings across mopeds, scooters, motorcycles. So it is always something that we want to reach out to the largest base of people because that's who we serve. And IPL serves to be that kind of a platform which really unifies and brings all of India together on one single platform, whether it is the youngest kid in the household to the most elderly person in the home. We are all glued to the television rooting for our teams, and that kind of brings in a singular passion. And that creates that great place to celebrate not only cricket and that unifying dimension of India, but also to be able to then showcase to all of those relevant stakeholders the kind of offerings that TVS has. So we find this to be an optimally scaled, sized event to be part of. Also, from the timing perspective, it comes in at a very opportune time, which is the early part of the year. That is also a time when a lot of parts of the country get into a buying season for motorcycles and scooters. So it really kind of gels in together. So with that, we're able to then do is that to bring our individual offerings. For example, the TVS N-Talk will look as a very young Gen Z audience, or whether it is the TVS Apache, which looks at a much more premium audience. And we're able to bring in and showcase all of these products and be able to communicate effectively about them.
Multi-sectors across tiers and generations. I think the IPL is a great stage indeed, as you've elucidated. And also for you, it ties in right at the start of the year. So looking forward to a blockbuster year ahead, of course. And now the brief given to your agency. How did the campaign ideas originate, and were they specifically made for the IPL?
So there are a couple of them that are specifically done for IPL, but more generally, the thing is that our propositions remain true. We're using this as a scale. But the interesting thing is sports really gives us an opportunity to celebrate attributes. So when you look at a two-wheeler purchase, you're looking at something that gives you more, or where it gives you the fastest, or that gives you the best. And these are attributes that you look forward to in your favorite players. You also look forward to it in your favorite vehicle. You want your fastest motorcycle. You want the scooter that gives you the most. You want this thing that is most technically competent. So we are able to bring these interesting connects with our audience and a brand, connecting moments in the cricketing play that happens with the specific attributes of all our products, which creates a moment of engagement also. So we are able to do it online and also to like take it onto the digital sphere as a surround. So I think creates this entire atmosphere where it is an immersive experience and it's a two-way communication and not just a one-way communication. So it makes it more fun, more engaging all the way around.
It's really interesting how you tie it in an organic and opportune manner. The fastest, the most competent. That's fantastic to know. And also the fact that you're tying it in with moments of celebration, indeed. I think that's great. And now, what key consumer insights shaped your marketing and media strategy for this Tata IPL 2025?
At this point in time, we believe that there's been a lot of optimism that is right now being looked at. So while there's a lot of news that going around which is talking about macros. The Indian consumer and the Indian market still is quite resilient. Also, we are seeing a good kind of a feedback that we're getting from the bottom end, which is right at the rural level, and their reach becomes a very, very critical this thing to drive choice of purchase. And nothing better than IPL to be able to do that. So from a media standpoint, I think that's where we're going at, that we're able to reach down to the last household, whether it's rural, whether it's urban, and that kind of reach is the from a media platform. From a brand standpoint, I think each of the consumers sets that we're targeting with each of our brands have a very definitive ask from their relative offering, and we are able to take an aspect of this thing, like I spoke about the fastest. The TVS Raider is the fastest 125cc segment motorcycle in the country, and so we are able to create this entire engagement saying, spot the fastest, whether it's the fastest 50, the fastest ball, the fastest thing. So really attribute and own that attribute together, saying this is the fastest. On the contrary, you have something like TVS Jupiter, which is known for giving the Zada. So the Zada we use as a gesture is, this wide arm, this thing, which in cricketing parlance is a wide. So every time a wide happens, that becomes an opportunity for us to drive that fact that you spot this and spot the Zada and spot the gesture. So I think this is not only in terms of telling them about the features, but getting them to register it and own a little piece of their mind, because they've got busy lives and this thing, but this gives that little piece of the mind that they carry away with them and giving us long-term salience for that.
Sharp, craftily keeping behavioral economics in mind, words such as Zyada or Spark, high energy words, call to action right there as well. And now brands are known to create campaigns specific to IPL, just like the Super Bowl. Now, this campaign, I can see so much thought that's gone into it. Was it specifically for this IPL? You've said you've done a few campaigns. Could you take us through them?
So I would say that IPL is something that we have participated in over the years in different forms. So there's always one part of the thing is that, okay, when it comes to the next IPL, how is a campaign that we're doing, how are we going to leverage it when it comes to IPL? So any campaign that's being developed, it's a big campaign or a major campaign for the year, always has an eye on it saying that can this become the IPL campaign? And if so, what would it do more? So whether it is the Jupiter, which is the India's Nyazada, or the fastest 125 from the thing, whenever they were conceptualized, they always had the dimension saying that when we take this to IPL, this is how we're going to leverage it. Now, we are not taking this as a point of launch campaign, but we are really looking this as the reinforcement, which is why we are able to reinforce the core idea being the widest availability of the TVS portfolio. So you will see the TVS Jupiter, you will see the TVS Ntorq, you'll see the TVS Raider, you'll see the TVS Apache. You will be able to see that no matter what the requirement that you have, you will be able to meet that in a TVS showroom. And the beauty about this is the fact that a typical IPL watcher does not watch a match and drop it at. They typically watch through the season. And so the presence across the season also allows you to showcase each product separately, as opposed to trying to jam each of the product into one group creative, which everything gets lost. You're able to really show them one by one by one. And in the course of the IPL, everything gets showcased the way you would do if you had walked into one of our showrooms. You would have gone from product to product to product and be able to see it. So for us, IPL then becomes almost like the virtual TV show.
Well, absolutely. You have 37 tournaments there to roll out the entire length and breadth of your campaigns and make sure they have maximum efficacy. Now, any memorable moments or interesting anecdotes from your campaign's development, whether during ideation, research, or execution?
Yeah, I think the one great part of it that whenever we get into this, we reaffirm that whether IPL is still catching that kind of a passion, and you're just amazed each time when you come back, the amount of depth of you know emotion that people have about IPL, how much they talk about it, how much they remember it across the years for the and the kind of city loyalties that are developing. I think it's a very, very fertile space. Interestingly, that because we also shoot with Mr. Dhoni and MSD is part of our this along, we have one of the longest standing relationships with him. And whenever we shoot with him, there's always this conversation. So he talks bikes and we talk cricket, but it is such an amazing moment to be able to spend that time together and truly get inspired. And I think it adds to the creative process and the entire thing that you look forward to in terms from development of campaign. But what it creates in terms of magic, in terms of the kind of involvement that he brings in, that itself is quite memorable.
It's so interesting that he speaks bikes and you speak cricket indeed. So that's a memorable moment for sure. Now, were there any unexpected challenges during production, like they always are, and how did your team overcome them?
There's always something or the other that keeps coming up, and I think it's part of the game, and it's why it's more exciting to be able to get something of value out and up. Whether it's timelines, whether it is the right connect, whether it is even being able to find the right kind of products that and how do you launch them in time. So there is the back end part of it and the front end part of it. The challenges are many, but I think what works is the end is that when you halfway through the campaign and you're talking to people and you see your brand numbers lift, when you see people talking about attributes that you wanted to rock, and we have seen this happen on IPL after IPL. So lots of faith and confidence that this IPL will also prove to be as efficacious for us as in the past. This time specifically because we are choosing 4 or 5 of our key brands and treating IPL like our virtual showroom. I think that's going to have its own impact as opposed to, let's say, single brand play. And that's going to provide a lift to us across all our products and all our segments. But memorable, this thing I think is the overall experience of meeting people and engaging with them and understanding with them what IPL means to them. And each year it keeps getting stronger.
Well, I hope it does get way stronger this year. It's already rolled out. So, what elements of your campaign do you think will resonate with the audiences or already are resonating?
I think the fact that, like the IPL, you have while everybody is a great player, you have a favorite player. Everybody is a great team, but you have a favorite team. Just like that, when you are able to go through the winter course and you're able to see all the different TVS products, you may like all of them, but you will pick one to be your own. And I think that's the goal of the campaign, that we showcase all our products and you're able to fall in love with one of them. And that becomes your favorite, the one that you root for, and hopefully the one that you ride on.
And now, the IPL is one of those rare occasions when ads are discussed as much as the game itself. As a marketer, how do you see this influencing your brand recall and impact?
I would say that, I don't want to fall into the seduction of being able to create famous advertising as opposed to create advertising that creates famous brands. So for us, we're not in there to create famous advertising. We are here to create famous brands. We believe to that process, consistency over time on IPL is what works better than creating one buzzword, because then what people remember is that gesture or that harkat or that one thing, but they don't normally, what benefit does the brand do to me may not always stay behind. So we are more committed to creating famous brands than to creating famous advertising.
You are leveraging JioStar Sports Brand Spotlight this season, giving the brand exclusive presence during a period of high viewership and engagement. What are your thoughts about Brand Spotlight?
I think it's a very interesting concept because finally there is the entire dimension of clutter, and in this, the fact that people who are with the platform in a significant manner and over time, the ability to provide them an extra leverage to cut through the clutter and be able to showcase what they want to talk about and what they have to offer to the market. I think that becomes a very important deliverable, and to that, I think the spotlight is a wonderful idea. It gives us that clarity and that moment of being able to really shine the light on the brand. It's a wonderful concept. I hope that it stays put and grows in scale.
I hope it's a very fruitful collaboration indeed. And my last question, not just consumers, but trade partners of brands are also important stakeholders of the organization too. How does associating with the IPL help nurture the perception with these business stakeholders?
So, like I said, that IPL is universal in India. I mean, every single person is interested in it. So, it also gives us opportunities where we create software engagement opportunities with the team and with the trade partners. The sheer sense of pride that my brand is out there and is part of something this big is great. That works right from consumer to our employees to the dealer partner employees and to dealer owners themselves. Um, and in addition, we're also able to bring some of our best performers to also come in and experience an IPL match live, and that also becomes part of the entire celebration of IPL in the 2 months that we do, and it brings in its own set of flavor and excitement and commitment to the entire platform. So I think it's that live experience combined with mass reach. I think that is a combination becomes an extremely fertile ground for us.
It's a dynamite combination indeed. And with that, we wrap up our conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, Aniruddha, and taking us through your campaigns and the thought process behind them. I can see that you're definitely bringing that drive to the Tata IPL 2025 this year, and all the very best. That's a wrap on this conversation. But the game and the branding power plays are just getting started. So remember to stay tuned to Brand Spotlight. Until then, it's me, Shilpa Ratnam, signing off.
That was the Star Sports Brand Spotlight on TVS.